to Mass Effect, the Trilogy. We're going to the Citadel, to hand in all our quests. Time to get lost again. Oh no! There's still like a couple places I wasn't able to find. Like there was a fancy bar I tried to get to, couldn't find it. Even though the guy was like, oh yeah, it's just next door, still couldn't find it. Alright. Oh, I suppose we should also explore our ship a little. We haven't done that yet. Because I've been so itching to adventure that I keep forgetting that this is a big part of the game, is just wandering around your ship. Talking to your friends.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me. Too safe, too secure. I figured the colonies were teeming with exotic adventure. I wanted to travel the stars, tending the wounds of tough soldiers with piercing eyes and sensitive souls. Turns out military life isn't quite as romantic as I'd imagined. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse. And the Alliance always needs good doctors. So I stayed on to do my part.
Ever think you made the wrong choice?
Sometimes I think about opening a private practice back on Earth. Or maybe taking a position at one of the new med centers out in the colonies. But there's something special about working on soldiers. If I left the Alliance now, I'd feel like I was abandoning them.
How did you end up serving on an Alliance?
I enlisted. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Liara! Sorry, I kept forgetting that you existed. I was too busy on quests.
I've been thinking about Saren. I actually feel a little sorry for him now.
He's no innocent victim. He was a ruthless bastard long before he fell under Sovereign's control.
I know his reputation, but he was a Spectre. I think he honestly believed everything he did was for the greater good. I wonder how he first fell into Sovereign's trap. Did he think he could somehow stop the Reapers from returning? Or was he simply driven by a lust for power and glory?
Whatever Saren's reasons may have been, they're long gone now. He has to be stopped.
Yes, I suppose you're right. He may be Sovereign's victim, but he is also a threat to all life as we know it. Let's not spend every free minute talking about Saren. It is bad enough we are chasing him across the galaxy.
I like to talk about you.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I am afraid I am not very interesting, Commander. I spend most of my time on remote digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
You must get lonely.
Sounds dangerous. And lonely.
Sometimes I would run afoul of indigenous life forms or stumble across a small band of mercenaries or privateers. But I was always careful, until the Geth followed me to Artemis Tau. I never found myself in any situation my biotics could not handle. As for the solitude, well, that is one aspect that most appealed to me. Sometimes I just need to get away from other people.
What's that?
You don't like other people?
I suppose it comes from being a matriarch's daughter. People expected me to follow in Benezia's footsteps. They wanted me to become a leader of our people. Matriarchs guide their followers into the future. They seek the truth of what is yet to come. Maybe that's why I became so interested in the secrets of the past. It sounds so foolish when I say it out loud. It sounds like I became an archaeologist simply to spite Benezia.
You like it?
Something about it.
I love my work. Seeking out history's lost secrets has a special appeal for me. You were actually touched by working Prothean technology. That is why I find you so fascinating.
Don't try to study me! I'm fascinated. Sorry. I'm fascinating.
Sounds like you want to dissect me in a lab somewhere.
What? No, I did not mean to insinuate. I never meant to offend you, Shepard. I only meant that you would be an interesting specimen for an in-depth study. No, that's even worse.
Relax.
Calm down, Liara. I was only joking.
Joking? Oh, by the goddess, how could I be so dense? You must think I am a complete and utter fool. Now you know why I prefer to spend my time in the field with data disks and computers. I always seem to say something embarrassing around other people. Please, just pretend this conversation never happened.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seem to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Rumors?
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
Rude! How is that possible?
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits onto our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
And the other parent?
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
Who's your father?
Do you know who matriarch Venezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
Ooh, you do meet them eventually. You can do that? Well, of course! How do you think their species reproduce? The species... Assuming that they're the only intelligent race on their planet, how do you think they reproduced before they got space travel? Of course they can reproduce that way.
Venezia never told you her partner's name?
Most Asari believe that Christians are species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained. Or so conventional wisdom is. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood. Though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face. It is a great
Excuse me?
It is possible Venezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge him as her offspring.
Maybe she wanted to meet you but couldn't. Something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure. Venezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
You Asari live for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient species live as long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them. And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
Do you know why
She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping galactic events. Maybe she thought aligning herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run.
Excuse me?
At least I hope so.
Maybe she's just evil! I'm trying to romance her. I don't want to be like that.
None of this makes any sense to me. I have not spoken to Benezia in many years, but I know her, and this was not like her. Something changed.
I should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.
Okay, let's explore some other parts of the ship. Oh, game audio is quiet? Alright. Let's crank it up to 85. Oh, excuse me. Thank you for letting me know. She does talk quietly. Oh, is this where Garrus is going to be hanging out? Oh man, we've got such a massive crew and only 8 sleeper pods. Yeah, that's right, the ship's smaller in this game. I forget that the ship in Mass Effect 2 is like twice the size of this ship. So I walked down that hallway and expected to go longer. I've expected Miranda to be in here. Okay, how's your day been, Tiny? Get up to anything fun? I feel like he must calibrate in this game. I know he calibrates in, I think, the second one and the third one, I'm pretty sure he calibrates. Because they make jokes about him calibrating in the third one. Because essentially, if you ever try to have a conversation with him and you don't have conversation options at the time, he just goes, "Sorry, I'm calibrating." In the second game. And then I think in the third one, they mock him for that because it became a running joke. Because you would go to him expecting to have a conversation, he's like, "Sorry, I gotta do these calibrations." I think in the third one they have like a couple moments where it's like, "Yeah, do you calibrate the guns after every shot?" and stuff like that.
Commander, things got heated back on Vermeer. You did what you had to do. I respect your choice.
That's what I expect from all my people.
Just make sure it was worth it. Saren has to pay for what he's done.
Oh, he will.
No matter what it takes, I'm gonna hunt him down and kill him.
I like the sound of that,
Okay, Mr.
So
Turtle.
long, Rex.
Shepard.
Oh, I think I can just modify the equipment.
Commander?
I don't like you. Bye.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
You're my grunt. Your job is to kill things when I tell you to.
Commander, nice work out there. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSAC.
Have you worked with the Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSAC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
Now, hold on. I thought he said he worked with Saren once. And that's why he knew Saren was a bad guy.
Being a Spectre does have its advantages.
Exactly my point. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it.
Oh, no, that's very
CSAC
important.
wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
My dude? My dude? Procedure's incredibly important. I see. I see, you're one of those cops.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things.
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate me.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this.
And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way.
Okay, so I think I want to address the problematic nature of Garrus being a rogue cop. This is a work of fiction, and part of this work of fiction is that so CSEC bureaucracy, I think, is supposed to be more like a corrupt police force where the corruption where the procedures themselves are corrupt to protect powerful people. Like, oh, you're not allowed to investigate rich people, stuff like that. I think that's what CSEC is kind of supposed to be, but without any context being given, and with recent events within the last 5 years, it just Garrus comes across as being one of those rogue cops that want to just ignore procedure and hurt people. And there is, I think, a mission in the second game where it gets a little bit like that, and you can choose to see where it goes. You can convince him to be like, hey, listen, normally you trust your gut and it leads you exactly where you need to go, but in this case, the guy, it's not black and white, and you should probably let this guy go. So Garrus isn't supposed to be a terrible character. I would say an apt assessment is he's a morally gray character. Prior to all the crazy stuff happening, I would have called him a good character, but now I'd say he's morally gray. But like on the surface, just based off of like, yeah, I decided to quit the police force and go rogue because I didn't like, reading people their rights. Yeah, that sounds terrible. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to be friends with Garrus or not. He's like one of the best characters in the franchise, so it would be very unfortunate if we didn't become friends with him. But at the same time, it might be nice to give some other characters a shot. So I'm undecided on Garrus, on being cool. Whatever.
Just do a good job and don't get in my way. Get along fine.
Don't worry, Commander. I'll keep clear.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of you right now, because... yeah. Ooh. Tally!
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small.
That's what she said.
I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype, cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
Oh, hey. I can go here if you want, and then you can read the subtitles. Okay, wonder if games start... yeah, captions would be nice. To area subtitles, yeah, that would be nice. Stalactite VTubers, I don't really know. Thank you for the suggestion. Well, thank you for bringing up the problem. So, you're into ships? Oh no, she's a shipper!
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand parts. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the get.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our privileges are so important.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small
There must be a bat
modifications to their
VTubers. It's
programming
upside down at
to
the top
allow
corner
them
of the
to
screen.
perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
Isn't AI research illegal? Shepard? Shepard? Why do you think it's illegal?
How come the council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law.
Oh, never
but
mind.
we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. 1 million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
What made them rebel?
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
What did you do?
It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
You didn't really think they'd just let you destroy them without a fight, did you?
The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exiled, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Okay, so something interesting about this franchise I didn't know. I thought the manufacture of AI was illegal because of what happened with the Geth. This means I don't know why AI is banned. Secondly, in this game, they divide AI into 2 categories. AI and VI. In real life, what they call a VI is still an AI. I've ran into some people who played Mass Effect and thought VI and AI thought VI was an actual term, and they'll say, oh, well, no, technically that's a VI, and I'm like, well, no. Anything that's designed to process tasks in a computer or mimic intelligence in any way is AI. Well, basically, yeah, anything that mimics intelligence in a computer right down to the Pac-Man ghosts, is AI. There is no distinction. A neural network, a generative neural network, like the fancy things coming out today, that is still AI. Along with the ghosts in Pac-Man. Those are AI. They're all AI. The key is in the name. Artificial intelligence. If it's fake, and it's designed to mimic intelligence, then it's AI. Actually, there's a lot of things that we already had in the internet and on our computers that are now being called AI that were not called AI before. Like, autocorrect. Autocorrect is now considered AI, but it wasn't before, because a lot of new autocorrects incorporate just a lot of stuff. Anyway. Oh yeah, virtual intelligence. But yeah, virtual intelligence is only a thing in Mass Effect. Virtual intelligence is not a real term.
It's hard to feel sorry for you. Your ancestors tried to wipe out another species.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place. But we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None.
If they've
Why
got
do you think
philosophy...
They cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
They didn't kill Saren.
What does that tell you? The Geth are not innocent victims in all this. They're the enemy. They want to destroy us. Not just the Quarians. All organic life. That's why they've joined up with Saren. And that's why we have to stop him.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Wait a minute. What about disabled Quarians who can't go on pilgrimages?
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when the gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression in a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage.
I already have the best viewers! Go away!
If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
This actually I love this lore. That is so cool.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, We have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
Yeah, I get the feeling like if your whole society is about keeping everyone alive, it's gotta be really draconian. And, what's the word? Pragmatic. Basically, they probably have a lot of sociopaths. Well, okay. Maybe not a lot of sociopaths, but... how should I put it? Yeah, no, that would only work if it was a population of like 30 or 100. If you're... okay. This is a little bit of like evolutionary psychology science stuff. And I just realized I probably don't have time to really discuss this without sounding like a weirdo, but I trust you guys not to think I'm immediately a bad weirdo. So, the reason sociopaths exist, because you have to ask yourself, why would you have sociopaths popping up in a species? That doesn't sound like a good idea. So, how does it work? If you have a human tribe, essentially, I think the guy referred to it, the guy who was talking about the work, referred to it as a tribe of up to 100 people, and you go to war with another tribe of 100 people, then your chances of survival are very low. However, odds are you will probably have one sociopath in that 100 people, and because of the way... wait, I can't remember if it's sociopath or psychopath. There are two very different things. I think it's sociopath. If you have a sociopath in a group of 100 people trying to defend it, the sociopath will probably end up becoming the leader, or if the sociopath becomes the leader, it will become bad for everyone, yes. But in the short term, it will, because of their, like, cutthroat, pragmatic sort of thinking, they will ensure the survival of the tribe until the war's over. The issue is once you enter peacetime, sociopaths don't serve as much of a purpose from an evolutionary perspective. But if you are in a crisis and have a small population, a sociopath is actually a valuable asset from an evolutionary perspective. Big caveat. We have risen above to, you know, a cultured society. But, from an evolutionary perspective, that's why sociopaths exist within humanity. And that's also why they are a small percentage. Because essentially, they help the species survive when things get really low. But the thing is that's why it's like, you know, if there's a science fiction story or something where, like, things are super dire and it's life or death decisions all the time, whoever's in charge always seems like super evil. For example, she says, we had to surrender a lot of rights. It's because in those situations, you kind of have to start making those horrific decisions. Anyway, that being said, there is a wonderful saying I read online, which is, if you would support fascism during an economic crisis, that incentivizes fascists to create economic crises. If you would support fascism during a war, that incentivizes fascists to start wars. So you always gotta be careful with things. Wow! That is cool! See, I didn't know whether this guy was actually telling the truth, or just, you know, one of those intellectuals who think about themselves too much. But that's cool that's like an actual thing that career counselors or whatever suggest. I feel like I learned something. Or rather, I guess just had something I already learned once be reaffirmed. But that's cool. I'm so glad that there's like a proper place. Everyone deserves a place in society. That's the thing. Even people who like, well, people demonize, right? Because here's the thing. Like, I do not like the villainization of psychopaths. Now, I know actually incredibly little about sociopaths. I know a little more about psychopaths. But, and even then, technically speaking, I think there's a lot of different varieties of psychopaths. But I'm going with the classic lack of mirror cells, low empathy psychopath. Everyone deserves a spot in society. No one is inherently evil. If you're a bad person, it's because of choices you make, not because of how you're born. And I think there's a way that we can fit everyone in. So I'm really glad that there's actually a place that people can go. Sorry, I'm feeling weird again. I think it's connected to the death of my friend. Tell me about your fascist spaceships.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline,
Oh no, that's just China.
the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births. Though the Conclave hasn't taken such measures in nearly a century.
What was that? I saw someone post an article somewhere that was like, yeah, a baby boom would not actually help the declining birth rate or something like that. And I'm like, I'm sure there's more to this article, but that feels like it's not right? Anyway.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law.
Martial law, that's what I'm thinking of.
Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
You're a Democrat?
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
No.
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction.
Oh, that's like Canada. It's just
5
military
top-ranking
jurisdiction is the
military
king.
Officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty. And they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
I like that. See, that reminds me a lot of both British and Canadian politics. We've got these, like, things where the crown is theoretically allowed to stick their nose in, but then bad things happen and there are consequences if they do. I think the last time that the crown exercised powers over Canada directly was in probably the 90s or something. No, I think it was the 70s or 80s. And then the last time I remember the crown doing something like that in England was probably, actually, I don't know, but it was the Queen banned someone from the country. Just straight up banned a director from the country. He's making a movie she didn't like.
I should go.
See you later.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
Okay, so in Canada, federal laws have to go through our parliament and all this stuff. But then they get signed by the Governor General. The Governor General is the Crown's representative. Currently, I think last time I checked the Governor General, I think we probably have a new one. But the last Governor General I checked was a First Nations woman, which I thought was really cool. I think she was the first Nations Governor General. Anyway, so the Governor General is a Canadian who is chosen by the Queen or King to represent the Crown. So, in theory, anything the Governor General does is technically the Crown doing it. In practice, it's just another Canadian politician doing their work. So the Governor General is in charge of ascension. When laws are passed in Canada, they have to ascend to the throne and then get approval from the King or Queen of England. Of course, we don't actually ask the King or Queen of England if a law is okay. The Governor General just signs it, puts a stamp on it. However, I think in the 70s or the 80s, there was some sort of law trying to be passed that was, like, really corrupt or something. Like, some politicians were trying some, like, sneaky, evil scheme. And the Queen essentially caught wind of this and straight up said, nope. That or the Governor General acted on their own accord and said no. But it was either the Queen, it probably wasn't the Queen, it was probably just the Governor General. But the Governor General's power comes from the Queen, or in this case now, the King. So it was the Crown actually rejected a law. And that is incredibly rare. I don't even think it's legal now. I think it's, like, theoretically legal, but I don't think it really is. Anyway, so the Governor General refused to sign a law into being made. And see, the thing is so that was the last time I think the Crown's power was, like, directly used in Canada to go against Canada. But in this case, it was, like, a good thing. A friend of mine a roommate of mine who was studying, like, museum history was the one who told me about that one. Interesting thing. So the other thing that the Governor General does in Canada is the Governor General, there's a reason they're called General. The Governor General is technically in command of the military and the Navy. All of it technically fall under the Governor General. Again, I don't think the Governor General actually does anything realistically. I think it's more symbolic. But they are technically the highest ranked person in the whole thing. Because so in the US, ships are called USS, and I think that stands for United States Ship. In England, ships are called HMS, for His Majesty's Ship, or Her Majesty's Ship. In Canada, they are HMCS, His Majesty's Canadian Ship, because the Navy is considered the Crown's. So the Governor General also, like, controls all of the military. But it's not like in the States where it's like a real rank. This is, again, more of a symbolic thing. To say that symbolically all of our army belongs to England. But that hasn't really been a thing since World War I. Well, since before World War I, because I think World War I was when we said, hey, you know what? We're going to aid England without even being asked. And when we jumped in to defend England without England officially demanding our army assist them during World War One, that kind of sent the message to England that, hey, listen up, this army, it's ours. We're commanding it. You didn't ask us to come here. We came here on our own because we can command our own army. And that was kind of like a turning point in Canadian history. It kind of basically told England, yeah, we're not your colony anymore. We're our own entity. We still respect you and we'll look after you, but like, we're our own thing. Anyway. She's useful.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for talent, Commander. But I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
No, that is. Bye.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye.
Now, where am I? I think there's a couple areas we still need to check out. No, actually, I think this is it. Caden's dead, so that's done. Yeah, I think we got everyone. I'm not gonna go visit Joker. Well, actually, maybe I will. In the other games, Joker tells a lot of jokes. So maybe he tells jokes in this game. I feel like I'm losing my voice. Again, why does the elevator stop there? Why doesn't it just go up one more floor? Oh, is that because that's the council room? Sorry. I know that our pilot has brittle bone disease, but we can't be bothered to put an elevator that brings him to this floor. How mean is that? How mean is that? Our pilot is disabled, has a hard time walking, easily breaks his bones. They make this custom spaceship, put an elevator in it, and don't let the elevator go to where his workstation is. What the hell, Alliance?
Commander, I know it couldn't have been easy for you down there. Making the call between Alenko and Williams must have been...
Mate, we came from the moon.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I just don't know if I
Dystopia is ableist.
There was no other choice. The mission is more important than one soldier.
There is no other
I'm
choice.
not blaming you, Commander. I'm just... I mean, it's hard, you know?
You know what I think? Sorry about all the chip noises. I'm just so hungry for chips. Since we're creating this big rogue mean character, I think Joker should be like the one person we can confide in. Along with whoever we romance. Hey, are you alright, buddy? I just realized they didn't put an elevator to the floor you work on, and like, I might be like a mean, rogue, nasty person, but like, that's not cool.
Saren's still out there, Joker. Hold it together. We need you.
Don't worry, I won't let you down. I want to be there when you make that son of a bitch pay.
Good man, good man. No, I'm tired.
Equalizing interior pressure with exterior atmosphere. Logged. The commanding officer is ashore. Exo Presley has the deck.
Rear Admiral Mihailovic, 5th Fleet.
Commander Shepard, SSV Normandy.
You don't know who I am, do you, Commander?
I command the 63rd Scout Flotilla. You and the Normandy were slated for my unit after shakedown. And the Council got their paws, claws, tentacles, whatever. They got them on our ship and you.
I wasn't keen on it either, but there are advantages to being above the law.
Don't let the title go to your head. No one's above the law. I don't begrudge the politician's decision to throw you to the Council. It's an opportunity. I do begrudge this over-designed piece of tin, though.
The Quarian's right here. Don't insult my ship!
This ship has saved our lives a dozen times over.
An exaggeration. I've read your reports. This experiment diverted billions from our appropriations bills for the same price we could have had a heavy cruiser. But no, we had to make nice to the Turians, throw money in a co-developed boondoggle. I'm here to make an inspection, Commander. Normandy is an Alliance warship. I intend to see she's up to snuff.
Normandy is an Alliance warship, but she's on loan to the Citadel. That means she's not in your chain of command.
I believe there's something wrong with my ears. Did you just contradict me?
This ship is Council property right now. So respectfully, please clear the gangway.
Have it your way, Commander. But expect me to file a report on this.
Yeah, I told him.
After years of poor economic performance, Exogeny has announced that its research colony on Pharos is finally returning a profit. New discoveries and a dedicated colonization effort have finally paid off for Exogeny. Exogeny stock rose sharply with the announcement, with investors pleased at this surprising news.
Wait, didn't we, like, kill half their colony? Oh dear, this character. I can't save because she's here. An enemy is here. Okay, here we go.
Commander Shepard?
You guys want Renegade? You guys want Renegade? These interactions are pretty much made for Renegade.
Khaleesa been seen in Al-Jalani, Westerland News. Would you answer a few questions for our viewers?
What sort of questions?
People back home have heard a lot of wild stories about you, Commander. I can give you the chance to set the record straight. What do you say?
So long as you understand that I may not be able to answer all questions.
I'm sure our viewers will understand. Humans have been trying to get the respect of the galactic community for 26 years. With that in mind, what are your feelings on being the first human Spectre?
We all know it should have happened years ago. I hope the Council realizes that we won't sit at the kids' table forever.
Some believe that without firm action on our part, the Council will continue to treat us like poor relations. Have you encountered any situations where the Citadel asked you to place its needs before the needs of Earth?
I think they know not to ask me to work against my own people.
I think our viewers will be glad to hear that, Commander. You've been given command of an advanced human warship for your missions. Is there anything you'd like to say about it?
Okay, so like you can actually start punching her in one of the games, I think, because she starts doing some really nasty stuff. Here she seems to be actually nice. I remember when you meet her, I think in the second game, she's like super out to get you. Here she actually seems like a nice person, and like I can still be Renegade and still not be mean to her.
The Normandy
That's nice.
is a triumph of human engineering. Like our development of fighter carriers, it shows other races that we're able to think outside the box.
That's gratifying. Many defeatist officers claim that the Alliance can't compete with the naval power of, say, the Turians. Do you think it was appropriate to hand Earth's most advanced warship over to the Citadel?
I command the Normandy.
Miss Al-Jalani, I wear the Alliance uniform, and if you think anyone other than me says where the Normandy can go, you're sadly mistaken.
No offense intended, Commander. I'm sure you have to follow the orders of your superiors. Of course, now your superiors are aliens.
Okay, now
One last
she's
question,
getting a bit
Commander.
rude.
Rumors back home say you're tracking a rogue Spectre named Saren. Do you have any comment on that?
He was behind Eden Prime.
Saren instigated the attack on our colony at Eden Prime. Once his involvement was proven to the Council, I was assigned to bring him in.
That's surprising, Commander. The official line says Eden Prime was attacked by rogue synthetics. Good luck in your mission. Thank you for your time, Commander Shepard.
Okay, she's polite in this game. Wow. That's... Wow. I did not expect her to be polite. She's rude in the other games. I remember in the third game, when the war's getting so bad and, like, planets are being destroyed and stuff, she comes at you again, and if you're like really goody two-shoes, like I normally play the game, you can like straight up give her a hug and be like, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay, I know you're scared. And it's just such a little moment, because it's like this person's been out to get you since Mass Effect 2, and then in Mass Effect 3 she's out to get you, and then it's just like, listen, it's all going to be okay. And then I think she like cries, and then you're like, you know, the news is actually a very valuable war asset, and you can get her to kind of like work for you. Kind of. Anyway. Oh, where are we going now? Let's just go somewhere. I'm sure we'll find someone.
With all this exploration of Prothean culture, this must be like a survey for you, Liara.
Our travels now are somewhat different from my normal excavations. I would prefer lengthier studies and fewer explosions.
Yes, most of the technology I had hoped to bring back to the flotilla has subsequently attempted to kill us.
Well, you can get a propaganda person as like a sort of companion, like a ship member who doesn't go on missions with you. In Mass Effect 3, that was apparently like really controversial. I think people said some really misogynistic things about the voice actor. Like, oh, she was only at it for sex appeal. I'm like, okay, if that's the case, you don't need to be rude to her. I thought it was oddly shoehorned in, yeah, but it's like, that's a human being you're talking about. Like, did you forget that that's a human being? I feel like a lot of people forget that, like, actors are human beings. Okay, this guy I think we need to talk to.
Hello, Commander. Has any progress been made with Mr. Bosker? Will he return my wife's body?
Where can I find this Mr. Bosker?
He was in the expensive bar over there.
Okay, you just pointed...
Not yet. I'll be back when I have more to tell you.
Thank you, Commander.
Okay, you pointed that way. There's a bar over here? Is it down there? Sir, that's the elevator I just came from. It's the bar across the river, because that's where you pointed. You also pointed this way. I'm getting annoyed with this guy. See, this is why I've never been able to complete this quest. Actually, I think I did. Or actually, I think you get asked the same quest, like an almost identical quest in one of the later games. Anyway, welcome to the Citadel. We get lost here every day. Hi, I'm looking for an expensive bar that's in this kind of direction.
Yeah, ever since this took over, I don't go.
Is it this way? Is this the bar? Hi, I'm looking for an expensive bar. Okay, maybe the bar is down there. This is not a bar. My dude lied. Ugh, I do have a quest that has to go here, I think.
You're with the Alliance? My brother's a private back on Earth.
Nope. Maybe I just have to talk to the receptionist. Oh, my ear.
Few are ever asked to aid Shaira. It's quite an honor.
What do you know about the General?
He's been seeing the consort for longer than I can remember. Then one day, he stormed out of here furious. He hasn't been back since. He was always very respectful to the others, very noble.
I think I'm done here.
Of course. Come back anytime.
Alright, so... I'm going to assume that guy was lying to me about the direction of the bar. I mean, at this point, I feel like it's the developers who are lying to me. Okay, is there an expensive bar up here? Oh, hey!
So they finally did it. I knew one of your kind would make Spectre one day. Why did you come to see me, Shepard? Did Ambassador Udina send you?
I came on my own. I need information.
You humans are always so curious, always sticking your fingers into someone else's pie. Is that the right expression? Never mind. Forget I asked. Was there something you needed, Commander?
I get the feeling you're not too fond of humans.
No, I just don't trust your kind. Not yet. You humans are eager to take all the power you can get, and you're being given a lot. If the Council wants to make humanity their new favorite pet, that's their business. But I don't have to like it.
The Council treats us like second-class citizens. We have to fight for everything we get.
Good. Then fight for it. But don't expect the rest of us to just sit back and let you take it. I'm a busy man, Commander. Are we done here?
What do you know about the Spectres?
They're the right hand of the Council, or so they like to be called. More like the underhanded side of the Council.
What do you have against the Spectres?
I can't abide any organization that considers itself above the law. Especially when it's left up to each individual Spectre to decide when and how to bend the rules.
Number bet. No, I think he has a good point.
Tell me about CSEC.
CSEC provides necessary police and security services throughout the Citadel. We're a civilian government agency, though many of our members have had military training. And unlike the Spectres, we work within the bounds of the law.
I'll be going now.
Goodbye, Commander.
Hi, I'm looking for the bar. Oh my gosh, I found it. The dude lied his flippin' face off.
My goodness, you're Commander Shepard. Your activities made for quite a briefing in the diplomatic corps. Is there something I can do to assist you?
You can cut the red tape for a grieving husband. I want you to release the body of Nerali Batya.
Commander, nothing would make me happier. I'm afraid, though, that it's not quite that simple. Serviceman Nerali Batya died on Eden Prime, as Mr. Batya no doubt told you. Her wounds are inconsistent with any type of weapon damage we've seen before. That is why her body is being held.
You're studying her injuries to learn more about Geth weaponry.
The tests we're conducting may lead to better defenses against Geth attacks. Respectfully, Serviceman Batya may save more lives in death than she did in life.
Release the body.
You know who and what I am. If I want Nerali Batya, I can get her.
Commander, I don't think threats are necessary. Even if the body were here on the Citadel, would you really risk going in shooting to get it?
Yes. Her! Not her. That's not... It's is not... It is not her pronouns!
The Marine's name was Nerali Batya. If you want to cut her up, you call her by name.
All right, Commander. You win. It was hard enough refusing Mr. Bhatia. I'm not going to risk an incident by refusing you. Tell Samesh that the body is being shipped back to Earth. I'll go now to see to it myself.
I don't think that was the right choice, but it was the renegade choice.
So much empty space. 1,000 of my people could live here and hardly even see each other.
Hey, it's Lando.
This place seems strange. Wish there were more humans around.
Bro? That's racist.
Don't believe the rumors. The consort would never reveal her secrets.
Of course she wouldn't. She'd be tossed out the nearest airlock if she did.
I suppose.
Besides, Nick, the consort's nothing like the girls back on the colonies. She's...
You don't have to do it with her. You can just talk to her if you want.
Is that all you did, Jazz? Just talk?
I didn't say that.
Ha! I bet you did too.
Shut up, Fredericks.
What do you want? Oh, Commander. Is there something I can do for you?
What can you tell me about the Asari consort?
Well, she's an Asari who works here as... That is, she helps...
You've never been to see her.
Did you really go to see the consort?
No, I never did. I couldn't afford it. It costs half a year's credits just to go in and talk to her.
I've already met her.
That's fine, Private. Just tell me where to find her.
Sure. She's across the bridge from the embassies.
I already know where she is.
Commander Shepard, I am Nasana Dantius. I see you got my message.
It sounded like you needed some help.
I do. My sister Dahlia is a crewman on the cargo vessel operating out beyond the fringes of the Traverse. Her ship was attacked by privateers. There were no reported survivors.
Oh, that's too bad!
You want me to hunt down the people who killed her?
This is where it gets complicated. Last week, I received a message with her voice on it. Dahlia is alive. The rest of the crew was killed. She was taken prisoner. The slavers demanded a huge ransom from me in exchange for returning her unharmed.
Why didn't the raiders kill Dahlia along with everyone else?
My sister probably told them who she was. My family's very wealthy, Shepard. They must have realized she was worth more to them.
I bet Dahlia is behind it and has become a pirate.
Do you want me to deliver the ransom?
I've already transferred the funds to the account they specified. Only they never released her. They haven't contacted me since. I've made a terrible mistake, Shepard. I'm a diplomatic emissary. By law, I'm required to report any attempted extortion to CSEC immediately. But I was afraid for Dahlia, so I just paid the ransom. Now she's still missing. And if anyone finds out what I did, I could end up in jail.
Why would they put you in jail? You're the victim here.
Government representatives on the Citadel are not allowed to negotiate with terrorists. It's too dangerous. Paying a ransom would only encourage more kidnappings.
I recognize this voice actor, but I can't figure out who it is. Like, she sounds familiar.
That was Dahlia's safety. I doubt they would actually send me to prison for what I did, but they would strip me of my post, and Dahlia would still be in the hands of the slavers.
You got in over your head and you expect me to pull you out?
This is easy money for you, Shepard. I've already found her. You just need to bring her back. I tracked the ransom payment through several accounts. Eventually, it
She
led
sounds
to
a
small
little
mercenary
bit
band
like Tara
operating
Strong.
out of the Artemis Tau cluster. I need you to go to the Merc base, take them out, and bring my sister back. You shall be well rewarded.
How'd you find out who was behind the ransom?
I have resources. Contacts and credits can go a long way, especially if you're willing to bend the rules. I already broke the law when I paid the ransom. This couldn't make things any worse.
Anything you can tell me about the mercs who have your sister?
This sounds like a
Pretty
fun
much
mission.
what you'd expect. Rough, dangerous, and well-armed. Nothing a Spectre cannot handle, though.
Can't you hire someone else to do this?
I do not want to take chances with my sister's life. I need a Spectre.
Yeah, she sounds like Tara
I
Strong.
operate outside official channels. My superiors cannot find out I never reported the ransom in the first place.
Don't worry. I'll bring your sister back.
Thank you, Shepard. I knew you were the right woman for the job. Come back and see me when the job is done.
Okay, so we picked up a fun new quest, but we should probably finish turning in all of these quests at the Citadel so we don't have to come back here again.
Hello, Commander. Can I get you something?
You know who I am?
Your arrival created a bigger-than-average stir among the diplomats and hangers-on around here. There's always something new happening around here.
I like his voice
I can
actor.
fill you in on some points of interest if you'd like.
What's going on around here?
Well, you found the embassies. Not much going on here. Emporium and Shaira's. If you haven't heard of her, you soon will. If you need supplies, you can try the markets one level below. For entertainment, I try Flux or Cora's Den.
Tell me about Flux and Cora's Den.
Well, Flux has gambling and dancing, certainly more lively than this place. Cora's Den, on the other hand, well, let's just say it's livelier and deadlier, all at the same time.
Thanks, man.
What is Shaira's?
The consort, she entertains clients who can afford her services. Most of the diplomats and ambassadors have visited her at one time or another. She's a very powerful woman, but also very respected.
Goodbye.
So long, Commander. Have a pleasant day.
Okay, we need to go to the Citadel Tower. May as well do that before we go. I think there's a couple quests up there we need to turn in.
Welcome to Presidium. On the far end of this level, you can see the Citadel Tower, where the Council meets regularly.
One of these things has questions about the VIs.
Goodbye. Goodbye, and thank you for using Avina. Please enjoy your visit to the Citadel.
I'm getting a bit tired. It's been so humid today.
See how the trees and the fountain naturally blend with the arches of the tower. They have done a masterful job of capturing the aesthetic values of the Protheans.
Any news? Did you find my brother yet?
I found your brother's body. His ship was attacked by privateers.
Willem's dead? I guess I should have expected this. When his ship dropped out of contact, I just knew. But I kept hoping he might still be alive.
False hope doesn't do anybody any good.
Maybe. But sometimes I think false hope is better than no hope at all. Please excuse me. I need to go make arrangements for his funeral.
Ooh, we're getting those evil points. We're being rude and meany. We're being a meaner. We're getting meaning points, which will let us interact with the succubus. Here, I need to speak to that dude. And then I think we can probably leave.
No, I'm waiting to speak with one... Commander Shepard, isn't it? My name is Admiral Kahoku. Is there something I can do for you?
You sent a recon team out into the Artemis Tau cluster?
Yes, that's right. They went missing a few days ago. I've been trying to find out what happened to them, but I keep getting the runaround from Alliance brass. Do you know something about this, Commander?
I found them. Well, what was left of them. They ran into a thresher maw.
A thresher maw? That's not... My men wouldn't just stumble into a thresher nest. Not the entire unit.
Somebody lured them there with an Alliance distress beacon. Placed it perfectly so they'd land right beside the thresher nest.
Damn it. I had a bad feeling about this ever since my team disappeared. The Alliance beacon used as bait, my unit wiped out, and nobody seems to know anything about it. Commander, I appreciate what you did. Now I need to do my part. The families of those Marines deserve to know why they died.
Anything you need from me?
Not right now, Shepard, but I'll let you know as soon as I find something out.
Yay, we gotta level up. Alright. Let us go back to our spaceship. I think our spaceship's somewhere down beneath CSEC. That's not the right one. Oh, no, this is the right elevator. I think.
I am curious about the helmet you always wear, Tali. Does it contain technical augmentation systems?
No, living in the clean environment of the flotilla has weakened our immune systems. The environmental suits protect against diseases.
I suppose that makes it more likely you will return from your pilgrimage then. You are only truly safe on your flotilla.
Spaceship time!
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress.
Oh no! Haha, I didn't get decontaminated.
Logged. The commanding officer is aboard. XO Presley stands relieved.
Okay, we have to go somewhere now, I think. When do we have to speak to Presley?
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Ooh, a quest.
Commander, Miss Al-Jalani's story on you just aired. I don't agree with everything you said, but at least you got her on your side. I just hope it doesn't damage relations with the Council.
Yeah, the Council can kiss my ass. I'm entitled to my opinions.
When you wear that uniform, you represent the Systems Alliance military. As a Spectre, you represent humanity. There is one other matter, however. The Citadel has been trying to play down Saren going rogue. It makes the Spectres look bad. Your mention of him was politically inconvenient.
I'm sure Saren inconvenienced the people he killed on Eden Prime.
I'm on your side, Commander. Remember that. This comes from the Joint Military Command. I won't keep you any longer. Fifth Fleet out.
Ooh, they didn't like my news broadcast. Ooh. Batgirl's so upset that they didn't like my Fox News broadcast. Where am I going? Hold on. Quest log. Macedonia. In Artemis Tau. It is. I think there was only one mistake I made, and that was calling, like, honestly, as me, like a human, like Kilo Del here thinks I did make one thing that I shouldn't have said, like if that was me, and that is I shouldn't have called the Normandy a human feat of engineering, because it was specifically a human Turian ship. It's a joint it was a joint project, so I should have, like, given credit where credit's due. Artemis towels. Zoomies. Remove the suction cups. Flap the wings. Normandy. Such a strange look for a spaceship, but it works. Like, let's make a ship that's more engine than it is ship.
Message for you, Commander. Just came in over a secure channel.
Okay, sure.
This is Admiral Kahoku. I found out who set that trap for my men. The ones killed by the Thresher War. Damn, I hope you get this message. It was a group called Cerberus. An Alliance Black Ops organization. Top secret, highest level security clearance. They vanished a few months ago. Dropped right off the grid. Nobody knew where they went or what they were up to. They've gone completely rogue, Shepard. They're conducting illegal genetic experiments, trying to create some kind of super soldier. I don't have any proof, but I found the coordinates for one of their research worlds. I'm uploading them with this message. They're completely out of control. Somebody needs to stop them. I've done my part. Now it's up to you. This is probably the last you'll hear from me. Cerberus is after me now. I need to disappear before they find me.
Cerberus. I'm sure that won't come back to us in any of the other games. Oh, I'm sure Cerberus isn't gonna like pop up as a major faction. I'm sure Cerberus is just gonna be chill, right? They're just gonna be like super fine and everything. Nothing will come from Cerberus going rogue. See, yeah, being a jerk is just like representing that. Excuse me. Since this is a kill mission, let's bring Ashley with us. Yeah, let's go. Ashley, I need you to kill people for me. That's what I hire you to do. Kill people. This is a nice looking planet. Level 1 hazard though. Okay, so we need to rotate about 45 degrees. Let's go. Let's go save a diplomat sister. Let's go save a diplomat sister. Let's go save a diplomat sister. Let's go save them now. The hostage takers are like watching this ship come, this vehicle, like, what is it doing? Map check. I just realized it's been a while since we've saved. Points! I know you guys probably can't see the point readout, but I know I'm killing these guys because I'm getting points for it. And you can sometimes see their corpses go flying. I added a new sound for when we whack people in Melee. What am I doing? $10 points. My helmet just disappears. Alright, remember. No Russian. Let's go! Pew 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 pew! Yeah, in this world we shoot them when they're down. Let's get them. I bet you she's not a hostage. I bet you she's leader of this gang. Let's just hack this first aid cabinet first.
Go, go!
Oh, he's under me.
Hold the line!
Bro, you are the line. Stop running, you coward! Their AI needs a little bit of work. I called it! Quick, let's run back to the Citadel and confront her. This sounds fun. All we have to do is get back to that expensive bar that's impossible to find in the embassies. Where even is he? Oh, there you are. Drills.
Perimeter secured.
Yay! I bet she doesn't even know. And her sister's just extorting her. That or she's trying to get us killed. Secretly. But I think it's more likely that she doesn't know about her sister. That's my guess. Oh my gosh, we're willingly returning to the Citadel. Ugh. This must be a good quest line. Can we skip this cutscene? I'd love it if every time we return the Admiral's there and he's just more and more angry and trying to get us in red tape. Let's go! Let's bring our cop friend along to confront this diplomat who might be a corrupt person.
Equalizing interior pressure with exterior atmosphere. Logged. The commanding officer is ashore. Exo Presley has the deck.
Who is Presley?
Presidium technicians are struggling to understand why a computer system catastrophically overloaded recently. Technicians are reportedly unsure of what caused the malfunction, or even what the system was originally designed to do. CSEC is investigating the possible vandalism or misuse of public property.
They don't even know what the computer did, because this is all alien technology. They're just like, maybe it was meant to explode. Have you considered that, huh? Let's go to the embassies.
Hello again, Commander. Has there been any word?
I reminded Mr. Bosker what we're fighting for. Your wife is coming home.
Thank you. I will return home and begin my preparations. It does not bring me happiness, but it may bring me peace. Goodbye,
We do have pink trees, yes. I have not seen any personally. I would like to.
Yes, Shepard? Did you find my sister?
Dahlia's dead, and I know she was blackmailing you.
So the truth comes out. I hope you're not angry. Surely you can understand why I lied to you. If people found out my sister was a criminal, I'd be considered a security risk. They'd revoke my clearance, or place me on administrative leave until she was apprehended. That is why I misled you. I could not risk you exposing me. But now that Dahlia is out of the picture, it's no longer a problem.
I would have helped if you'd just told me the truth.
Perhaps you're right. I am sorry. We have trust issues in my family.
Obviously.
I shall transfer a little something into your account as a token of my appreciation. I'm sure you'll find the amount satisfactory.
I'm a Spectre, not some merc for hire. I can find credits anywhere.
True, but I'm the only one who can authorize you to purchase prototype Asari mods. I will get you added to our manufacturer's preferred client list. I think you'd be very interested in what they have available. Goodbye, Shepard. It has been a pleasure doing business with you.
Wow, that was actually nice. Snazzy. I like her. Okay, I think that is it for tonight. Oh, sorry, I keep pressing 1. Wow.